4th generation, 5th generation, things are very easy, but doing something from zero is also possible today.
Was it fear of this big name, big competitors that you're basically entering the market with? The goal needs to be what you want. At the end of the day, for somebody, an Alto might be a Rolls Royce.
I failed in 4 companies. I slept at the base kitchen for days. You can't keep crying about your failure.
The journey of being from a self-employed to a CEO or a founder is understanding from running a business to building a brand. Don't you think in India you teach them, then they teach you?
In today's age, it's the easiest thing to market. You have influencers, you have bloggers, you have food, fashion influencers, you have Instagram, your biggest tool. Back in the day, I used to put a banner here. 5 lakh rupees. Today I can spend 5 lakhs on Instagram, I get 5x more returns.
You need to train your mind in that vision that I want to achieve this.
Building teams is easier, I agree. Retaining them is harder. Very valid point.
Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast, Brewing Business with Dhruv. Today I have a dear friend, a person who I know personally as well. He's the owner of Shelby's and he's also a sponsor. And today he has agreed to do a podcast with us, share his knowledge and how he made it so big at just 26. I think it's a remarkable story to address, hear his journey and how he did all of this. So let's begin the podcast. I welcome Dhruv Singh on the podcast. Here we go. Hi Dhruv, how are you?
I'm good, Ritvik. How are you?
So welcome to my podcast. And to start things first,
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Let's start with how did you think about being an entrepreneur? Like, what is the background?
Well, started a long time ago. I think first time I saw, full-on food operation was when I was 8 years old. My dad, with my dad in Chandni Chowk, Delhi 6, the heart of Spice Market. That's the oldest shop known as Kaki Di Hatti. So I think when I was 8 years old, I saw how food is made and served to the public. I think that's where I got some idea of that, okay, this is how everything works. Yeah, and since then, I think it's all been experience. I think FandB is in my blood, even if I like it or I don't like it, I am the best at it, So it's like a bloodline thing at this point. I mean, if I do it, I'll be successful.
Okay.
FandB comes easy to me because I think my forefathers have been doing it. So I think the whole thing started since, I think I'm 26 right now. It started when I was 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about how your entrepreneurial journey started?
Yeah, I mean, once I graduated, I went to US for a while, but then I got bored of US, and then I came back to India. Yeah, when I came back to India, my dad was running his shop. It was a dhaba.
Okay.
And I saw a lot of opportunities in that because that's something everybody wants, good food, good experience. So that's how I got the Kaki Di Hatti idea for franchising. Kaki Di Hatti was already a brand.
Okay.
But it was only operating on 3-4 locations as company owned. I introduced franchising to my dad, and in 7 years, I think with him working side by side, we scaled it to plus 100 locations in India. Now I think Kaki Di Hatti is operating almost in every state in the country. That's how I started my entrepreneurial journey into FandB.
Okay.
And I've always been very curious as a child. So, when I see a gap in the market, I want to take it. It doesn't matter if I'm successful or not. I want to grab the gap. And, that's how I started Shelby's Coffee. Because we might serve the best, single origin gourmet coffee there is, but the gap is the wave of the specialty coffee in India, which in the next 10 years will be consumed by every single citizen of this country.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know this gap is on the way, on the rise. The old fashioned coffee brands are dead. People need something new generation, something farm to cup.
Yeah.
And that is why I started Shelby's.
Can you explain this term? What is farm to cup?
So let me explain single origin first.
Yeah.
See, in India, for a layman customer, it is wow, it tastes amazing. The aftertaste, the fragrance. For us, it's about creating a singular line process, procuring beans from the green, from the farms of Ratnagiri state, Kurg, Chikmagalur, higher elevation farms, 5,000, 6,000 feet. Roasting them to patent processes, bringing that bean to the cafe, and then using high techniques, manual techniques, and really good machines to take out that extraction of espresso
Okay.
is called the single origin coffee process. When you take 100% Arabica bean from the plant and you brew it live in your in your cafe, that's called the single origin process of coffee.
Okay.
This whole pipeline is known as the third wave of coffee.
Okay.
Also, how the brand Third Wave started a few years ago.
Okay.
They've also done very well. They also, serve specialty coffee. And this wave in India has only started a few years ago. And it's going to take over India in the next 10 years. And there are very few players who are in this industry right now.
Okay.
I can count them on my one hand. Shelby's Coffee is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, the education of this is
So
growing.
do you see this particular industry growing in the coming years? Then more players
It's growing
entering the
at
market?
5,000 crores annually.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a 5,000 crore annual opportunity.
Okay.
We're talking about 1.2 billion people who are tired and bored of chai, and they can easily make it at their home. They
Okay.
cannot make, a mocha dark chocolate or a flavored cranberry coffee punch or an amazing extracted Americano at home. They will eventually.
Sure.
In America, Europe, they do. But India, they want to go out and experience all this. The experience market of live brewing is on the rise, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Right now, we serve tasting notes with our coffee. That this is the farm we have procured it from. This is the quality of the bean to educate the customer. But from an end customer perspective, right now, they'll be like, wow, what an amazing coffee.
Yeah.
And for us, it's this whole process. So this is the third wave of coffee.
So at 26, you're doing so much. You're handling multiple brands. So
Not so
and-
much,
Yeah.
just a little.
But there are so many youngsters
Yeah.
who would be listening to this podcast and will, most of them are like clueless in terms of which direction they want to be headed in. So, like, was there a particular time you sat down, jotted
100%.
down that these are the things that are, these are the gaps in the market, and then coffee is something that I'm more interested in? Like, how did this entire thing become what
See, I
it
think
is?
coffee seems to be the gap that I'm filling right now in India, specialty coffee.
Okay.
But my whole idea was to build something that people care about. Build an experience so that people are happier in their life. And what I've done with Shelby's is just that.
Okay.
It's a home. It's a cozy, artistic home for people who want to spend their entire day here, working, communicating, discussing. It's a closed loop family culture
Okay.
that we are building at Shelby's. And I think as a kid, I was also pretty clueless. I mean, I always knew my dad was running a dhaba,
Yeah.
but I never had experience or ideas of scaling. I mean, there was a time when I was sitting in my room, sleeping at 5 a.m., thinking what to do.
Yeah.
So firstly, there's nothing to be scared about to be clueless, because only with, consistency, you become that you have some clue.
Yeah.
You're not gifted with what you're going to do when you're born.
But was there any mentoring, any person that you look up to, any inspiration?
See, I think, I don't know how the market is doing in terms of looking up to Elon Musk, but Elon Musk has been a good, I think I read his book 7 years ago, Elon Musk, how the founder of SpaceX and Tesla is changing our future.
Yeah.
I think that book gave me perspective on startups. Like,
Okay.
I realized that somebody who has nothing can start something from nothing and do this.
Okay.
See, 4th generation, 5th generation things are very easy,
Yeah.
but doing something from zero is also possible today. I mean, most of the self-made people are 1st generation, which is very amusing to me. And that's how I started in this, startup culture.
Yeah.
And because you have nothing, and then a year of hard work and you have something. And that something will go for generations to come if you do it right.
Yeah.
This is how it starts. So I think Elon Musk book motivated me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think I have a mentor. I think I like to learn from everyone. Like anybody I can learn from, I'll learn from them and execute that thing onto my brand.
So with today's day and age, like so many people at their young age, including you, like they want to become entrepreneurs today. They want to explore different business opportunities today. What do you see as, some common traits or some qualities that an entrepreneur should have to make it happen in today's days and age?
See, I think there are many qualities you should have,
Okay.
but there is no quality that beats determination.
Hmm.
It's the most underrated quality there is.
Yes.
You will almost fail many times.
Hmm.
Market is unpredictable. Customers are unpredictable. No matter how great your product is, if people will like it or not, that's unpredictable. So I think you need to do your best and keep at it. If you believe that your product is a market fit, then don't give up no matter what.
Because there comes a time when
I'll tell you, see,
Yeah.
you need to differentiate between market fit and a fairy tale.
Yeah.
I failed in 4 companies
Okay.
before I started Shelby's.
Okay.
You know why? Because I was too keen on making it happen, even though it was not a market fit.
Okay.
Shelby's coffee is a perfect market fit. It's still very hard, but I know that customers love it. Listen to your consumers. If they like you, then you will be successful no matter what.
Okay.
If your consumers don't understand you or like you, then no matter how much determination you have, you'll fail. So first, market fit, then determination, and then success.
So in your failed startups, if
Yeah.
I can say, like you figured out that they want the right market fit.
Yes. Like I started an edtech company. After COVID, the whole thing came crashing down.
Yeah.
Even in COVID, the Indian, like a startup I was building, it was before its time. Timing is also everything.
Yeah.
Shelby's is starting when the live brewing market of India is on the rise. You see,
Okay.
if this was 10 years later, I would be just one of the specialty coffee brands. If this was 10 years earlier, nobody would know what specialty coffee is.
Correct.
So timing is everything. So I think market fit and timing was not there in my other startups. And no matter how much determination I put through it, it failed.
Yeah.
So again, I am a very determined person. I will not listen to you if you tell me this will fail unless I fail myself.
Yeah.
That's just me.
So
But,
as a founder,
yeah.
you think there is some process or some points that you should see that if these points are not working out, then maybe this
Yeah, I told
particular
you, see,
industry. Yeah.
It's actually very funny.
Hmm.
Sometimes when Shelby's gets hard,
Yeah.
I say, you know what? If Shelby's didn't exist, which place in Delhi I can have that amazing dark chocolate mocha and that Founder's special cranberry coffee punch in
Yeah.
Delhi? I can't think of one place.
Yeah.
I love my own coffee so much that I will keep it running for myself.
Okay.
First thing, this is a very good thing to judge your product. That you love it yourself this much,
Okay.
then other people will definitely love it.
Sure.
Second is your feedback.
Hmm.
From the first store of Shelby's, I have loyal customers who message me that Shelby's is the best thing you have opened yet.
Okay.
So I think first you love your product. Can you live without your product? If the answer is no, then it's not going to work out for long. I cannot live without my own coffee. I don't think anybody can make it better than what we do.
Okay.
So you love it yourself. Then your customers love it. First step, second step. Then money will be an issue, investment will be an issue, deals will be an issue. All of that will happen. It happens with every startup. You just have to push through it on the basis of your love for your company and your product and the love of the customers. In the beginnings, even right now, if Shelby's makes 500 crore in sale, we have 500 crore in expenses.
Yeah.
It happens. Until we get to 50 crores in annual recurring revenue, profitability will be harder because we are giving the best possible service and experience in product and stores there are. There is cost.
Yeah.
Right? But I know customers love it. I will keep doing it. So that's it. Focus on your customers and your personal...
Customer feedback is important.
That's second. First is your personal love towards your product.
You
Can
have
you
to-
live
yeah.
without it?
You have to love your
I
product.
cannot live without Shelby's coffee.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I can never go to a Starbucks again.
Okay. Yeah.
I simply
it's true.
cannot.
So you have to be focused towards what you're making. You have to trust your product first yourself.
Master it first.
Yeah.
Master it, love it, trust it. Then customers will do the same.
So let's talk about like your first Shelby store. When you launched your first Shelby store, how was the experience like? What was going on behind the scenes? Can you tell us a little bit about the journey?
It has been a journey indeed.
Yeah.
The first Shelby store, we just crossed our 1 year anniversary in December.
Hmm.
Yeah. The first one in the front end, firstly, it took us 6 months to a year of R&D.
Okay.
I don't come from a coffee background. I do not know anything about coffee. I had to travel to the higher elevation estates, understand the process, the roasting process, how to procure beans. A year of R&D on like competing with these giants like
Yeah.
Starbucks, right? So I perfected that first.
Was there
Then
a fear? Sorry, but was it fear of this big name, big competitors that you're
no,
basically entering the market
see,
with?
I studied the decline of the instant coffee
Okay.
slash old coffee market.
Hmm.
I knew that this is an opportunity that I cannot lose.
Okay.
Because if there is a decline in some markets, something has to come to take it over.
Sure.
And that's why I wasn't fearful. I knew the market is on the rise.
Hmm.
Of course, market rise does not guarantee success.
Yeah.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So R&D, then we launched our first store. We did not even know how CDU works, Central Dispatching Unit.
Hmm.
I slept at the base kitchen for days when there was products not available, because now we have a system. Imagine a factory with a refrigerated van and a central dispatching unit that dispatches fresh products every day, including raw materials, bakery products, your whole supply chain of coffee and its ingredients every day to the base.
Yeah.
That's something I had to figure out for myself with a lot of experience and failure. Right now, I'm sitting at 2 base kitchens across 3 states and 4 large flagships. 10 are under construction.
Okay.
And I'm doing it with ease. That's because it took me a year, 1 year, to figure out how all of this works.
Okay.
And definitely, it's all was experience. I don't think books would help in this or college will help in this. You
But
have
was it
to.
hard in the starting when you launched?
It was hard, but you need to focus on the solution more than the problem.
Okay.
This is okay. My cup is not reaching on time. Why? Let's go to the roots.
Hmm.
You go to the roots, you take the roots out, you see what's under them, then you plant it back in again, and then you grow the tree. So it's all about actions and solutions.
Okay.
And fast. You don't have time. Every minute counts, every second counts.
But don't you think when we are fast, we make some silly mistakes on
No,
the
no,
way?
no. That's the thing. You must fail fast. People who think that they'll make silly mistakes and you should go slower, they're wrong. I have failed so much and I'm only 26
Yeah.
because I fail fast. You can't keep crying about your failures. You need to get up and move on to the solution.
But
It's
do
very
you
important.
also analyze those failures?
Of course, you cannot repeat a mistake again. You have to do it in a better way.
Can you talk about those failures? Maybe our listeners would be interested. Yeah.
So let's talk about higher food costs. We are serving the best quality cheesecake, the best quality double cheese chicken burger, the best quality hazelnut frappe. Our food costs are shooting up because people are just using whatever. We had to set up a purchase order system, a back-end system of technology that scans each and every item that goes from the vendor to the base to the store. Analyze this process and reduce the food cost. We were failing at this and now we're not. Then as we keep growing, like we have 4 stores. When you open the second, third store, items were unavailable. We have 170 items in our coffee house. Only 50 were available. The van was, so we deliver every morning. So the refrigerator van wasn't working sometime. The backup delivery had to be figured out. So now we know how things are done. So these failures taught us this process.
So how many hours of working were you putting then to how many are you putting now?
See, definitely now I know how to do proper delegations. I still put in good 10 hours of work, but then I was putting around 20.
20.
Yeah, a year ago, 20 for sure. I just don't like giving up, man. I know something is perfect. I can't live without it. I know people love it. If I give up, then I'm making the world, lose something precious. How can
Okay.
you give up? You can't. You have to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your long-term vision when it comes to Shelby's coffee? And obviously the coffee market is on rise, the
I would
specialty
say
coffee market.
my long-term vision is to open 1,000 retail chains in the next 10 years, and all with a customer satisfaction rating of 4.5 stars above out of 5 stars.
So is Shelby's funded today?
Friends and family round, but we
Okay.
have not raised any official VC funding.
Okay.
I believe in a traditional growth. Although VC funding would be very helpful at this time.
Okay.
but the company's valuation needs to be higher, or you
Okay.
end up losing control of the company. This is something also founders should know.
Yeah.
You don't want to be an employee at your
Own company.
own company.
Hmm.
You built it from scratch. Tomorrow, it should not be like the board came and be like, you're fired, because you're, making a change for the betterment of the customer.
Yeah.
So I will raise funds, but maybe after 200 to 300 crore of valuation. Right now, we are valued at 35 crores.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So when
company.
we're talking about funds, was there a time when you had fund shortage?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
You come up with ideas. Recently, my sister was asking me like, Dhruv, when you have short funds, how do you deal with it? I said, I come up with ideas. He's like, what if you're not able to?
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to. So I come up with
There's no plan B.
interesting ideas.
Yeah.
See, I come up with interesting ideas to get funds when the funds are less. Non-VC, non-equity dilution ideas.
Okay.
FICO is one of them. Franchisee invested, company operated. Then I'm working on some pre-lease ideas. There are many ideas that you execute that gives you immediate influx of funds, and eventually, as the number of high street grows, your sales would manage your expenses. So I project that after 10 stores, Shelby's would be around 20% EBITDA.
Positive?
20 to 25% EBITDA positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
And what about what is the current Shelby's model?
Yeah, so we are scaling, through a zero capital model, which is known
Okay.
as FICO, FICO.
Okay.
McDonald's does this, KFC does this, Domino's does this.
So your flagship stores are owned.
Yeah,
But
we
now
have,
you're entering this
so
market?
all of our Delhi stores are company owned.
Okay.
We infuse our own funds and our own effort to build these stores from
Mm-hmm.
scratch. Now we are scaling through FICO. Like we just launched a large 80-seater coffee house in Ahmedabad, in the heart of Ahmedabad,
Hmm.
good, SBR. So that's a FICO, FICO. So FICO model allows me to get capital from micro investors while giving them monthly royalties.
Okay.
And that way, the company has full control on operations. 100% employees are ours. Everything is ours. Ownership is ours, and we give royalties on sales. So this model,
So the people who are investing are just getting returns on it, basically.
they're getting very high returns. Yes,
Okay.
like on a 30 lakh sales, they'll be getting 5 lakhs monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, so almost 15% of sales.
What happens if those sales don't come through?
Again, we have to make them come through. We
Okay.
push. We only open at good locations.
Okay.
Second, we make sure they come.
So location is important.
Location is at least 50% to 60% of our brand. If you open in a bad location, no matter how much marketing you do, customers won't come. You need to be where the people are.
Okay.
You can only risk upcoming locations maybe after 100 stores, but not right
Okay.
now. In Ahmedabad, we opened in the heart of the city. Heart. In GK2, South Delhi is the best market. West Delhi is where we're sitting is the best market of club. West Delhi.
Yeah.
Noida 104 is the best market of Noida. We have to be where the people are. Only then a new brand can survive.
But for anybody who's into this industry, right? Sometimes positive things don't happen, right?
Most times, not sometimes.
Yeah, those sales don't come through. What is the immediate action apart from, see, you're a brand who does FICO, but you also understand there are brands who have cloud kitchen today,
Yep.
right? And now sales
The
are
biggest
not-
aggregator would be Rebel Foods. They have like 12 cloud kitchen
Correct.
brands. Yeah.
But then again, I'm talking about anybody.
New startups.
New startups who did well initially, but they're losing sales today. What is their
See, I
go-to
think,
today?
See, I'll tell you. Firstly, whenever you lose sale, you always blame it on marketing.
Okay.
It's not always marketing.
Okay.
Marketing is useless without good standards on your product, packaging, service. Imagine I'm giving you this coffee. Imagine this cup is leaking. Imagine there is no hyper seal on it. Imagine this is not a double layer cup and everything is reaching cold to me. No matter how much I market, you'll never order it again. The SOP has to be followed every single day to perfection. Taste, packaging, branding, and then you market on it.
Okay.
The only marketing will never help. So operation success has to go together with marketing success. And in today's age, it's the easiest thing to market. You have influencers, you
Yeah.
have bloggers, you have food, fashion influencers, you have Instagram, your biggest tool.
Yeah.
You can use Instagram. I see my own ads running every time I open Instagram. That's how strong our marketing is.
Okay.
I have my own FICO ads running. So I see Shelby's reels running every 5 kilometers. Targeted Instagram ads, Instagram, your fashion, food influence, all of that.
So sometimes
Back in the day, I used to
Yeah.
put a banner here, 5 lakh rupees. Today, I can spend 5 lakhs on Instagram. I get 5x more returns.
Okay. So when I talk about processes and systems,
Hmm.
you're somebody who's a man of processes.
Yeah.
So can you talk about how do you build processes, systems, and their importance
See,
in the F&B industry specifically?
see every. Like I was, so I was interviewed recently on this. So FNB, airlines, and military
Hmm.
organization follow the same process.
Okay.
Discipline.
Hmm.
If your store has to open at 7 a.m. in the morning, your team should be there by 6:55 a.m.
Yeah.
Your shifts should have daily briefings on experience, on service,
Hmm.
and the transfer of talent of training must continue always.
Okay.
Which means your barista should always have a second in command to be trained. Your chef should have always second in command to train. This is very important to scale. Today, if I'm launching a new store, I already have my team ready. I'm taking that burn because I know that tomorrow I have to launch. I need 5 extra people ready.
Okay.
So same goes with the, if you have even 10 minutes delay in a flight, people start panicking. Why
Yeah.
is my flight not flying? If there's an attack on the country, the military has to be on the post.
Sure.
Right? So F&B industry, it might be, you might think, how can I compare F&B with military? But a large scale F&B operation, a large scale, when thousands of employees are in place, it is a military organization. If you don't produce the same taste across 170 items from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. every single day, you will get negative review, leading to your eventual demise. How does that sound? That doesn't not sound like military.
Yeah. It does. Talking about teams, I think F&B is an industry where attrition is at highest. Now, building team is one. Retaining is, very important.
Of course.
Can you talk about this in terms of
See,
how do you build great
yeah.
teams?
Now, building teams is easier. I agree. Retaining them is harder. Very valid point. Tomorrow, if I want my people to stay and train
Yeah.
more people, I need to give them something to look forward to.
Okay.
As a CEO, I tell my people that we'll be at 1,000 stores in the next 10 years. Tell my RMs they'll be AGMs. Tell my AGMs they'll be GMs. Tell my GMs they'll be state, national, country heads. Everybody wants growth.
Yeah.
I'm not just selling the vision to customers. I'm selling the vision to the employees. My head barista will be corporate barista. My corporate barista will be wearing a suit and sitting in a building. If you're running a restaurant, then retention is harder. If you're building a brand, then retention is easier because
Okay.
people will not leave you if they see growth with you,
Okay.
even if you pay them less. But you need to have a strong vision. Tomorrow, if I say, do your best on this store, 5 years later, people will leave for better opportunities. Today, nobody in my company will leave. You know why? Because they know that nobody in the current market has what Dhruv has.
Okay.
He has fire. That's it.
So you think showing the team vision is important?
Very.
But is it enough?
See, first show your team the vision, then show it to the investors, then show it to the customers. If your team is not with you, what are you going to do? I can't be at 7 stores making, cafe frappe all the time, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not enough. Of course, there are more factors.
Okay.
We pay our people well. We give them good offs. If there is an issue at the store, we send people to fix it. We have people overseeing people.
Okay.
Like every RMs are store people are being overseen by RMs, overseen by assistant AGMs. So we give them a hand
hand
help,
holdings. Okay.
hand holdings if they're not doing well.
So basically make them feel at home.
Yeah.
Is
Plus
that what you're
our salaries are good. We give accommodation. We give food.
saying?
We treat our staff well. If somebody makes a mistake, we tell them, you're doing good, but don't do it again. We don't just start shouting at them. So culture is necessary.
Okay.
Build a good culture
Mm-hmm.
and motivate your staff. We want them retained.
So culture, I think, is a very talked about topic nowadays. I think we need to address like what do we mean by culture in F&B?
See, culture is that everybody wants to work. Everybody has to work.
Yeah.
How will we serve our needs, our family's needs? How will we make our bread and butter?
Yeah.
How will we get the Indian dream? Like you have the American dream, people have Indian dreams also.
Yeah.
A house, a car, family. So now that you've established that you want to work, where do you want to work? In a company that respects you, right? That makes you better and that teaches you. I think people underestimate that people want to learn more to be better.
Okay.
They want to grow in their life. I'm sure a barista will not want to be CEO, but a barista would want to be a state head training 20 baristas one day. Everybody has growth vision. So you show them that.
Okay.
If you don't, then no matter how much you pay them, good people will leave. Good people want growth. Tomorrow, if I wasn't if I wasn't a CEO and I was working for someone, if I don't see my growth, I will leave.
Okay.
Because I'm a good working person. Bad people should be removed immediately. Good people will only stay if you show them growth. That's how
growth
it is.
is very important. Like they have
I'm
to
not saying
be
growth,
in sync with your vision.
Yeah, I'm not saying that a barista let me just reframe. I'm not saying a barista would want to have a Ferrari. I'm just saying a barista also wants to see growth in his systems, in his processes.
So you
Give
pay
them that
well.
freedom. Give them that access.
So to make just crux the all of these points is pay them well, support them, respect their
Most
emotions.
importantly, teach them
Okay.
and give them freedom to execute.
But don't you think in India you teach them, then they teach you,
No.
and they leave? No.
See, again, I would say that it depends who your leader is.
Okay.
If tomorrow your leader is good enough to teach you and also motivate you, but also replace you, then you will respect him, trust him, and fear him. I believe that if one of my bakers say I'm leaving, I already have 10 bakers trained. Go ahead. There should not be any valid reason for them to leave. But if they try to pressure me, I have 10 more people like you ready.
So you gotta have backups. Is that
Transfer
what
of
you're saying?
talent. As I keep telling, transfer of talent. It means what I know, my second in command should know. What my second in command should know, my third in command should know. That is how you
Transparency.
transfer of talent.
Okay.
If I can make a cheesecake, my co-baker should also make it.
Okay.
You need to give people a community, a culture, but also make them feel that nobody, even I'm very replaceable in the company. I'm the CEO. If I'm not operating it, somebody will. Everybody is replaceable in a corporation. That's why corporations succeed and small companies don't. Because small companies make everyone feel that nobody's, replaceable.
Yeah.
Good culture, yes. But boy, you are replaceable. For sure.
Yeah. Even the CEO, even the founder.
Everyone, even investors. Tomorrow, a bigger investor buys out the small investor. You would think investors are not replaceable. They are.
I think there's one very important topic that I want to, touch. There's planning, and then there is execution. How much planning plays a role, and what about execution? Like,
See,
how do you see both of the things?
there's a saying, thinking is halfway there.
Hmm.
So thinking and planning is very necessary. If you don't plan for something, you can't execute it. But execution is, of course, the final hit. So take a paper, jot down the points you want to work on, and then focus on a weekly progress schedule.
Okay.
That's what I do. I don't see daily progress. It's impossible. आज क्या किया, बहुत कम किया, कल ज़्यादा किया, उसको नहीं देख सकता मैं. So I see whatever I achieved in a week. If you want, you can even do whatever I achieved in a month.
Okay.
But you must have some sort of substantial weekly or monthly progress in place when developing a brand. And today, when I wake up, I know that by end of this month, I would have closed 2 more FICO LOIs for Shelby's. And, I would have achieved this sale target. And then I work on it as a whole.
Okay.
I don't make any daily plans.
You make a 6-month plan on a yearly plan.
Yes.
And then
No,
review it.
I make that for my investors.
Okay.
But I already know what I have to do in the next 6 months. I don't have to make it.
Okay.
My goal is already set for me.
Right.
1,000 Shelby's by 2035. Seems impossible, right? I would say a 60-year-old brand would say this. And I'm 1 year old.
Yeah.
But I have my goal.
Yeah.
And when I achieve it, and what I have to do for it is what I do every day. How do I get to perfect consistency on each store, and how do I open more stores? And how do I maintain that same customer experience everywhere with the same taste and quality? That's it. I have to do that well enough.
Yeah. See, I believe, I don't think having a vision uh, bigger than your competitors, or like you said, a 60-year-old company could maybe practically think this through, and Shelby's is 1 year old. How I see this, I've heard this somewhere, and I think it's a very nice thought that today, if I want to buy a Rolls Royce, right? Nobody can come and tell it to my face. You can't,
Of
right?
course.
My thoughts, my control, right? I'm ready to think whatever the hell I want, and then I need to work for it. As simple as that. So I think the vision or the plan or the goal needs to be what you want. At the end of the day, for somebody, an Alto might be a Rolls Royce dream come true, right? So when you are thinking of something, you're setting up your goal, I think you should set the highest benchmark that you would want, even if, like you said, it's impossible to, think also like that. But I think it's possible to think about it. And if it's possible to think about
Like
it,
I
you
said,
can make it
thinking
happen.
is halfway there.
Correct.
Just the rest of the halfway is pretty hard.
Yes, I think I strongly believe in manifestation.
Of course.
I strongly believe in
No,
if
without
you-
manifestation, you can't even proceed on a plan of action. You first need to
Absolutely.
believe and think that you can do it.
Correct. And thinking about it makes you work for it. If you're not only thinking about the goal that I want to do this or achieve this till 2035 or 2025, how are you even getting there? Like, where is the roadmap in your mind, right? So subconsciously, I think you need to train your mind in that vision that I want to achieve this. Coming back to planning versus execution, you rightly said, I think planning is important, but when it comes to a goal setting, that's one. But planning in terms of your weekly task, your monthly task as a founder, is that something that you do?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have my milestone set up. That by the end of this year, this is where I want to be. By the end
Okay.
of 10th year, this is where I want to be. And executing that milestone on a daily, weekly basis is what I do for a living. See, as CEO, if you are doing anything else except capital acquisition and smart hiring, then you're not CEO. You're a COO, or maybe you are, one of the head AGMs or GMs. No person in your company can bring in money except the CEO.
Okay.
Nobody has that face value. Nobody has that, like investors won't believe a general manager to invest 1 crore in your company. So your most important job as CEO is to bring in money. I personally believe people overhype operations.
Okay.
Operations is the key to success, but it can be delegated in a very systematic way. Get the best people to operate in the best way and bring in money. Without money, you will never scale. Money is the fuel that you need for your car, your product,
Yeah.
right? So as CEO, I focus on the milestones and how to get the money to achieve that milestone. Everything else is transfer of talent and smart hiring. I know my AGM can manage my RMs. If he cannot, I'll get a better AGM.
Yeah.
I know my GM can manage my AGM, or I'll get a better GM. You understand?
Putting
A general's okay. In a military organization, does a general?
you relate to military.
Of course I do. See, FNB is militarization.
Okay.
Will a general go to a war zone with a gun? No, right? He will deploy the soldiers.
Correct.
I'm a general and I have an army.
Yeah.
I plan how to win the war. Business is war.
So strategy is important.
Business, 100% business is war. There are winners and there are losers.
Yeah.
Isn't that a war?
Yeah, absolutely. See, I strongly believe what you're saying, because according to me, a founder's profile or a founder's job, I think, is to place the right people at the right place.
Yes.
If you can do it right, I think you've won half the war.
you cannot mess that up,
Correct.
or you will never scale.
Mostly how I've seen Indian entrepreneurs failing or not making it happen, I think when they hire, they negotiate and they hire cheap talent. I think when it comes to talent, when you want to charge a premium, you have to give a premium to hire the best of the industry. That's when your brand also has the success, because founder or just the CEO is nothing without their team.
Yep.
To relate to that, if we have that work ethic to envision a good team, that has a good premium pay, not just pay
See,
because
again,
you want
see,
to pay a premium, but
okay, I'll tell you. See, it's important to pay your people well,
yeah,
but that's not the only factor that's going to define that are they going to stay or not. I gave a whole
Absolutely.
speech on how you have to make them grow at the organization.
absolutely.
I would say good people care less about money and more about are they growing in the organization or not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My corporate barista, he gets paid, I think, much lesser than a corporate barista should. But he still stays and builds the team because he loves the growth we are doing here. He knows our company cannot afford high salaries right now. I cannot. We only have what, like 4 or 5 flagships right now? Not 50, 60.
Yeah.
At 50, 60, he knows what he'll get.
Yeah.
He knows we'll get there because of the leader.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop until we do.
Correct.
He knows that. So I think, again, retention really depends upon your
So you think
leader.
sometimes team also takes the brunt of getting little less paid than what they should be today, and they wait for a better pay in the future with the growth?
Yeah. I mean, see, I would say that's what inflation eventually is. We'll have higher rents. We'll have higher staff pays. Everybody wants raises every year, every 2 years, 3 years. And that's why it's so important for a company to grow. You cannot just fixate yourself on getting, 1 crore sale from one store. You must scale in numbers. You must become a name, a brand that serves at hundreds of locations. Only then you can support the great people. Today, if, Tesla works the way it does, SpaceX works the way it only does because they have the amount of capital behind them. They only have the capital because they're producing results and scaling. So results and scaling should continue always.
Okay.
Let me put this in a shorter way. You stop running, you die, metaphorically speaking.
Okay.
So don't stop running.
Yeah, I get that. And I kind of resonate with that kind of thought process as well. Talking about building a brand, I think that's also something that most of the businessmen, self-employed people, I think the journey of being from a self-employed to a CEO or a founder is understanding from running a business to building a brand. When you understand this leap, that is when you should call yourself a founder, a CEO. Before that, I think everybody's self-employed. They're working for not a purpose. They're working for money. I think you need to work for a purpose. Do you believe in this thought?
See, I mean, like I said, money needs to have a motive. Money without motive is what?
Purpose, right?
I'll give you a small example. You keep $1 million in cash on an island with one person who can never leave that island. What's that word? What's that statement? Elon Musk says, money is a database for resource allocation. You know what this means?
Yeah.
This means money without purpose and target and flow is just a bunch of pile.
Yeah.
You keep like stones.
Sure.
So money needs to flow. It flows through service.
Yeah.
When you bring something of value to the customer, then it flows. You cannot keep money as a goal. Money is not a goal. It's a database for flowing the resources.
Yeah. See, talking about Elon Musk, I think I've heard this story wherein he talks about he got that payout from PayPal, I think. He's one of the co-founders, right? So he
Around 200 million.
Yeah.
And he invested, around 100 million in SpaceX, 70, 80 million in Tesla, and 20 million in Solar City.
what kind of thought like
It's fair
a person has to go through getting that amount of money in today's day and age, investing almost the entire amount in something that he believes in, and then again coming on rent and making it happen after losing it, let's say 4 times in SpaceX. So what is the thought process?
Well, what do you think I did all of my, with all of my KDH money? I invested it all. I have nothing. I have no personal liquidity because it's all Shelby's.
Yeah.
The thought process is that you can go bigger and better, and you must take the leap.
And do you risk it all then?
Yeah, you do.
Don't you think like a backup plan, something to
See, I'll tell
say
you.
for rainy days?
Let's say rainy day.
Yeah.
2 टाइम की दाल रोटी,
Hmm.
एक गाड़ी और एक अपार्टमेंट या घर है आपके पास. 50,000 चाहिए आपको महीने का. 50,000 से 1 लाख रुपये. उसके बाद क्या? What's your expense? Tell me. Of course, if you are married, you have families, you have kids, then you maybe need another 1 lakh. But I think in 1 to 1.5 lakhs, any person can survive in India. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think
ठीक है?
better than survive.
नहीं, better, अब middle, upper middle हो गया ना ये तो.
हाँ हाँ.
ठीक है, आपको साल के 12 लाख बनाने, ठीक है, सर्वाइवल हो गया. उसके बाद तो मतलब if you can make a survival in like automation flow. First, of course, I agree survival is necessary. You cannot thrive without survival. Then what else is there except to build something that people care about and value? What am I going to do with 1,000 crores? To sit on it, on a mountain. You have to put it where it matters. Again, I don't think he invested it all thinking he's investing his money. I think he did it because he thought now he can.
Yeah.
That's it. He always wanted to do it. Since school, he kept talking about, electric cars and rockets. Now he thought, oh, I have money. Finally, let's do it. I don't think he thought that my money is going away. I thought he thought that I'm finally able to do it. The thought matters more than the money.
Yeah.
Because, see, like I said, to survive, you don't need much. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
cover your survivals.
Yeah.
Maybe through, some investment or maybe a part-time job, and make sure it runs, and then do whatever you want with the rest of it.
Yeah. In the morning only today, I was going through this lovely reel. Sometimes you get such wonderful content also to hear apart from all the drama that's been going on social media. So that person asked this celeb that how was hard days, like sad days, and how do you cope up with that? So बहुत अच्छी बात बोली उन्होंने बोला कि सैड डेज क्या होते हैं. मतलब उन्होंने एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन पूछा था दैट आई रिमेंबर नाउ इज बुरे वक्त में आप क्या करते हैं, हाउ डू यू रिएक्ट टू बैड टाइम्स. तो उन्होंने बोला बुरा वक्त क्या होता है. इफ़ यू आर ओपनिंग योर आइज एंड यू कैन सी, इफ यू कैन हेयर फ्रॉम योर ईयर्स, यू आर एबल टू स्टैंड अप, वॉक एंड रन, आई थिंक आपका अच्छा टाइम चल रहा है. यू आर ओनली नॉट रियलाइजिंग कि वो अच्छा टाइम चल रहा है. बुरा वक्त होता है कि आप बेड रिडन हो गए हो. बुरा वक्त होता है कि आपको कोई बीमारी लग गई है.
Of course, see, if you're healthy, you have a good time. Like you can't base your financial loss or success on if your life is good or not. Can you walk? Can you speak? Can you talk? You are having a good time, now get to work.
Absolutely. And it's a very good thought process in terms of if you're able to do the basic things of life, you don't know what people are going through. So I think being grateful just in terms of if you're able to do the basic stuff, I think that should be enough motivation. And you
in
don't
the world, most people are surviving.
Yeah.
That's a big enough task.
Yeah.
Within itself. If you can survive, you should be happy and proud.
So it's a very good thought that don't go through life, grow through life. So I think that is very important. As an entrepreneur, I'm sure from 20 hours to 10 hours today, how does your routine look like?
See, my routine is pretty inconsistent.
Okay.
I follow a milestone-based system. Sometimes I don't sleep for 2 days. Sometimes I sleep for 12 hours. It depends on how my system automation is going. If I've automated a system, I don't have any work for that specific day. I'll just rest. It's like a mechanical, I can work for 2 days and sleep for 2 days.
Okay.
Based on the requirement of the milestone.
But like, is there a general routine? Like, how does your day generally in Delhi look like?
Yeah, so I wake up, I take sort of a hyper shock, a therapy at my, spa Tamaya, where I steam up. I put a 0-degree ice shower on my head, my body. My body is like completely steamed up. So I'm like, my eyes are open now. Okay. Then I get to work, and that's it. I work all day. I go home, I sleep. And I do the same again.
Okay. Do you read a lot?
Unless I travel. I have to travel a lot sometimes.
Okay.
Because we have now operations coming in, Bangalore, then Hyderabad, then, like Gujarat will be growing soon too. So I have to travel. I have multiple meetings. I have 8 hours, like sometimes I have 7-8 hours of meetings.
Okay.
Yeah. Investor meetings.
Does it sometimes feel that I don't get time for myself? Is that something that bothers you?
I get time for myself. It's called what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great thought.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's like, I love doing it? Yeah. So I have enough time for myself. Right now, I'm enjoying my time.
Okay.
See, it's like, if I enjoy doing something, then that is the time for myself.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then you need time for yourself.
There's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem. If you like it, then you are right now having a time of your life.
Okay.
Stress is peace
Yeah.
a lot of times.
Okay. I think that's a very good thought to put in perspective in terms of how today's entrepreneurs should think.
Yep.
Right? But what do you think? Like I told you my bit, but what do you think in F&B industry generally? Why people fail? There's growth, there's successes, and then
I'll
there are
tell
a lot
you.
of people failing.
I'll tell you why people fail in, like this specific industry.
Yeah.
Their mindsets are fixed.
Okay.
They don't change with the flow. If the market requires you to do something, you better go ahead and do it. If you
Okay.
stick to your old cultures and rules, you will be overtaken by better people. They fail because of lack of change and consistency.
So adaptation is very important.
You get profits. Oh, you're so happy. No. Go back in again. You get profits. Oh, no. Go back in again. If you start taking out money from your company for your personal gains, you will fail. You need to keep infusing funds to maintain that consistency. If
Okay.
Starbucks has 34,000 locations, they must be spending hundreds of millions of dollars to maintain and make those locations better. You understand?
So you mean you only take out money for your survival?
I say you take out money when your company doesn't need it. And it'll always need it.
What about people who start a business for survival?
No,
Like,
so, see,
I think-
you can take out 50,000 a month for that. No issues.
So yeah, you can take
But
out
you cannot
money.
take out $50 million a month for that. You understand?
Okay.
I mean, you need to understand your company has needs of innovation, of growth. It's a living organism. It
Right.
needs to thrive
Right.
in the market. You know how competitive the market is. Like I said, you need weapons for the war.
Yeah.
So, lack of change, lack of consistency, lack of continued investments in your company. These are the three reasons why F&B people fail.
Okay. And talking about investors, like we were talking earlier as well. So, should every business be looking at investment, or like it depends on the vision?
See, if you want to be the best, you need capital. Without capital, you cannot scale. And people who have it, they'll always overtake you. So if you believe in your product and your service, then you need capital acquisition. You need to raise capital. Now you raise it anyhow you want. You can raise it through multiple models, multiple ideas. Worst case scenario, you go to VC.
Okay.
Worst case.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about how much money does one Shelby store make today?
Yeah.
Okay.
So per store economics is doing better than other coffee brands.
Okay.
Our per store economics is around 15 lakhs, 13 to 15 lakhs. Some stores are doing plus 20.
Okay.
So similar to that, if I were to see my competition, their per store economic would be 8 to 9 lakhs. Simply because our coffee houses are equipped with a larger menu variety. We have live bakery, we have meals coming out of a live kitchen.
Okay.
We're not just dependent on the collection of specialty coffee and beverages. We have food as well. Food is a good aggregator for per store economics. So our per store economics will always remain higher than our competition simply because we have more to offer them. And the other brands are lazy to not do so.
Okay. And talking about income, do you take out something out of Shelby's
No,
today?
I can't. Not at the moment because we are at break even, sort of a break even EBITDA. No profit, no loss.
Okay. And if I talk about income and financials, somebody at 26, how do you manage your personal financial decisions, investments, savings, if I can say, and how do you
I do
plan
what I
for the
have to.
company?
I don't have any savings.
Okay.
I mean, I bought a car 4 years ago.
Okay.
I run that. I live in the house that is owned by my parents.
Okay.
I don't want to live alone because that is an additional cost. That's it. I have, except my fuel expense, I have no expense.
But like what I'm exactly talking about is, do you sit down with your CFO, look at investments such as mutual funds?
Nothing like that, no.
Nothing. Don't
I
you
only
think-
invest in what I am doing.
Okay.
And I
Don't
just
you
find
think
all
it's
of the
important?
Warner Buffett stuff very boring.
Really? So maybe I
See, it's because at the end of the day, I'll give you an example. I invest in mutual fund, 1 lakh. After 5 years, it becomes how much?
I think
Take an example.
20%. I think
20%. I can get 100x return on Shelby's in 5 years. 100x minimum.
Okay.
I don't believe that stock market is fast enough for what I do as a living. If you invest $1 million in Shelby's, I'll give you $100 million in 5 years. Now tell me which stock market does that.
But see, how I look at it is that definitely,
It's like real estate.
Right.
My uncle buys a land of 10 crores. In 10 years, it's 25 crores. In 10 years, if you invest 10 crores to me, I give you 1,000 crores. How is that for growth?
I think that's good for growth, but I think Dhruv, you have to sometimes also think from a perspective wherein, how blue chip funds are, right? They give you guaranteed 16 to 18% roughly.
Guarantee. See,
Right.
that's why I'm an
Business
entrepreneur.
doesn't not
That's
give
why
you
I'm an
that.
entrepreneur.
Correct.
Entrepreneurs take high risk for high rewards. Yeah. So there's no guarantee in what I
But
do.
you also advise this for everybody who is an entrepreneur today.
I think you should do what makes you happy.
Okay.
If blue chips makes you happy, if stocks makes you happy, you should do that. If
Not
taking
cup of your tea.
if taking risk makes you happy, you should do that. I take risks because I think I can bring some value to the world by taking these risks. So I do.
See, how I see it, to put things into perspective, is that definitely there is an income that is coming in, there's growth that's coming in with our agency also, right? But what I've learned through the years is you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. When you're doing so, it's like going all in on the cars that might win you.
No, but it's not
big.
a risk, right? It's a calculated risk. You have to understand. See, I am serving you the best products in the market. My customers love me. You call that a risk? No, that's called 100% calculated risk. If my customers love me, they will continue to love me when I scale. Yes?
Yes.
So, building a brand is not a risk if you have mastered the SOP, the CDU, the products, everything. My chances of success would be at least Amazon. When Jeff Bezos started Amazon, he said his chances of success are 30%. Mine would be at least 55 to 60%. I think that's a brilliant chance of success.
Rate. Yeah, absolutely.
So then, would you really call it a risk, or would you call it a fully calculated risk?
See, I think calculated risk
And also,
is
worst
good
case
risk
scenario.
to take.
Worst case scenario, okay, for me is that I start from ground zero. So what? At least it will be worth it.
Yeah, I'm sure. See, what I
You only get one life, right?
Absolutely. And see, I'm 34 right now, and like I was telling, I think,
I'm 26.
yeah, I think at 34 also there's a lot to learn. I'm not saying that I'm experienced
There's a
enough.
lot to learn at 60 also.
Absolutely. And I truly believe in, the thought of not investing at one place, because see, it's business is like how you play poker, right? You have to have that.
It's not like poker.
zeal.
I'm just saying poker is a bit more risky. But yeah,
Okay.
if you focus on the numbers, if you're
Yeah.
really good at math,
Correct.
then business is like poker. Like I said,
Absolutely.
you have to be good at your job. That's it. Be
Yeah.
good at what you do. If
Right.
you're bad at it, then of course you'll fail.
But don't you think like the thought of going all in at one hand and maybe trying your hand at poker, blackjack, flush could basically divide your risk, if that is the thought process, and then there is a thought process of going all in the thing that you believe in. I think both kind of entrepreneurs exist in the market, wherein one truly believes in the product and they go all in till they make it or break it, right?
See, like I'll give you a small example. I have a vice president,
Okay.
in the company. He spends a lot of money.
Okay.
He has a lot of family wealth. Okay. Name to be remained undisclosed.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I tell him, why do you spend so much money? He said, because I can. His family wealth comes from a very rich family. So again, it's a matter of perspective. I consider wealth to be a different aspect altogether. If I am, okay, let me give an example. If the whole world loves my stores and everybody, respects me for it, I have no money, I'll be happy, I'll be fine. Would you call that wealth or what? I don't care that much about, generating wealth. Sure, a Ferrari sounds nice, but I'm not going to die without it. It's okay. What I care about is what I do and how I do it and how I do it best.
Do you care about what people talk about you, say about you at 26?
I care about what my customers say.
Okay.
See, now
Should
if
take customer
somebody
feedback really
comes
positive.
to my retail store, they love it. That's what I care about. If they hate it, I'll figure out why and I'll fix it.
Okay.
I don't care what people say as long as you're my customer.
A very basic topic that everybody nowadays gets into is getting their brand on social media, right? You earlier also mentioned social media is very, very important. But is there like a roadmap that you have in your mind that the why is that necessity first in today's day and age, and then is there like a roadmap that you build for like a brand that you start, because you're not only doing Shelby's, you have something coming up in South India as well.
We have multiple. See, so Shelby's is my main focus right now. But yes, we do see market opportunity and we grab it anyhow we can.
Yeah.
So I do have a new brand in place right now that's going to scale soon. And of course, my dad's brand is also there that he's working on.
Yeah.
He's also like me at
So
60.
where does social media come into the picture when you launch a brand?
It comes into picture at all levels.
Okay.
I mean, social media is the future of advertising. If you have mastered your product and your packaging and your branding, then you must advertise.
Okay.
What better platform to advertise than social media? So
Okay.
it
So
comes
you
from
don't
day
believe in
one.
the traditional ways of advertising anymore now, because
There is no
social
such thing as traditional ways anymore. It doesn't
Okay.
exist. I can put a banner. Nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me 10 times more than what social media will cost me. Why
True.
would I do it? If I can call a celebrity at my store
Yeah.
and have him pitch Shelby's, and I know tomorrow there'll be a line.
Hmm.
Why would I pay the same amount for a banner at a highways
Yeah,
location? Things are changing. You and I are on social media. Bill Gates is on social media. Who is not? I mean, people who say they are not, they're also there on social media. I'm sure Elon Musk has a private Instagram account.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So when we talk about restaurateurs,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs in the F&B industry who think they are going to do well without social media, like what is your thought on that? Secondly, to add to this question, how much should you give in the entire budget or working capital that you have for your success on social media? And following up to that, instant result nahi milte hain.
No, there's no such thing as instant
Yeah,
result.
so let's talk about that as well.
As much as you spend is less on
Okay.
social media.
Okay.
I would say we do what we can with the budgets we have. I can spend $1 million on social media, still is less.
Yeah.
But
But
we
like,
ha-
is there a proportion of working capital? Like
yeah, like I said,
15
3 to 4% of sales should be spent on social media.
on 1 lakh of sales, 4,000 rupees is what you're saying?
Minimum. Now, how much is 4% of say 50 lakhs? That much we spend on social media right now.
Around 2.5 lakhs.
Yeah, minimum on ads, just ads.
Okay.
Yeah,
But if we add the agency costs, the shoots and everything, does that amount to
goes
10,
to 10% is our own, because influencers,
Yeah.
then free food.
Yeah.
You have to give a lot of free.
So anybody who's doing a restaurant today, F&B today, cloud kitchen today without social media is probably going to fail?
Yes, no matter how good your product is, you will fail.
Okay.
This is it. See, how will people know about you? They're not going to get a dream about you, right? First, master the store, the service, the product. Then master marketing. And in marketing, 70 unless you have millions in bank account to hire a traditional advertising agency, and everywhere you go, you see your brand on radio, on television. You have Amir Khan saying, "Yeah, what a great place." Then social media is the place for you. It's the place for the startups.
That every F&B person
Today,
should-
Burger King spends $35 million on social media annually.
Okay.
That's 200 crores on social media.
Somebody at 40, 50 who's starting an F&B business today, they don't value social media till date. They value billboards and like.
No, I mean
what
they
do you-
do. See, market is changing. It's just like why do people value specialty coffee more than instant coffee? The change is coming. They will see it eventually.
And you think people who adapt to change will survive?
Yes, people
And
who
scale.
don't will not. Because see, even if you're the best, you will be taken over by someone better. Today, I am trying to take over an established market of unnamed coffee brands in India. Why? I'm just a guy who started this 1 year ago. How many more guys are like me are there who have this fire to do so? So if you don't adapt, you fail because there's too much competition in the market. Business is war, like I said.
See, what I've come to terms after having this conversation with you is that the CEO or the founder, I think whatever the business is, the fire, the zeal to make it happen is very important. And to sum up the conversation, I think this is how,
Determination too.
correct. And to sum up this conversation, I think this is Harvey Specter quote. Then when somebody puts a gun to your head, what do? You have 365 more ways to deal with it.
Yep.
Like you said in the starting, you got to have ideas. You need to execute those ideas rather than giving in, quitting. I don't think quitting is
Quitting
an
is
answer.
easy, right? You just quit. That's it. It's done. It's easy.
Yeah.
But life is not easy.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep going.
Yeah, I think it was a lovely conversation, Dhruv.
Thank you.
And I think people will be looking forward to maybe hearing from us more about F&B industry. One podcast I don't think can sum up the entire experience
Yeah.
that you have.